Well, greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is still doing well. How about a middle of the night bonus upload for you folks? Before we get into it, a couple links. As you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, and the merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. Links to Patreon and PayPal are in the description below. Merch displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They all were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeff Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, the links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support this channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe. It doesn't cost you a cent. Click that like button, it takes half a second. If you don't want to miss out on any of the informative uploads I put out daily, click that bell icon and please, folks, leave a comment. Why? Well, because all of these things, they really do help this channel to continue to grow and go. And they definitely do matter. Now, everyone, I've taken far too much of your time. Let's jump into this midnight bonus. Shall we? Today's first encounter. As this document was released via the Freedom of Information Act, it is now, for all intensive purposes, in the public domain. Being in the public domain means that any of the information contained in the release can be presented to the public as is. The United States Department of the Interior, Fish and Wildlife, November 20th, 2018. Dear Mr. Redacted, the United States Fish and Wildlife Service, FWS, FOIA office received your Freedom of Information Act, FOIA request, dated October 28, 2018, and assigned it control number FWS 2019 redacted. Please cite this number in any future communications with our office regarding your request. You requested the following: digitally scanned, archive, or currently active reports, memos, training materials, or any other documents pertaining to or concerning the unverified North American primate known as Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yeti, or skunk ape. On October 11th, 2016, I, redacted, a U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service endangered species biologist, was contacted by United States Forest Service staff about a report that had been called into their office and they weren't really sure to handle it. I talked with the Forest Service employee briefly, who passed off the caller's information in a brief statement of what she had seen. The woman's name was redacted, of Redacted, Washington. I called her on October 11th and left a voicemail. Redacted returned my call on October 13th, 2016 at 10:22 a.m. and we discussed what she had observed. See below. Redacted said on Sunday, October 2nd, she was driving back from her home from Leavenworth, Washington on State Highway 2, traveling west. After getting out of town and just past the intersection of Cole's Corner, heading towards Stevens Pass, she saw a dark, hairy bipedal creature whom she estimated to be between 7 to 8 feet tall. She said it was lean-looking, and it was near a guardrail on the right side of the highway walking towards her. She pulled over at the end of the guardrail and saw the creature go over the guardrail and walk towards the woods. She noted it had somewhat of a cone-like head. She said it was black in color and she couldn't see any flesh. She said she also talked with Redacted, the wildlife biologist of Wenatchee National Forest, from her sighting. He advised her to report the incident to the Bigfoot Research Organization. Redacted, to me, sounded in her mid-50s. She said she was leaving the Oktoberfest celebration in Leavenworth. She had attended over the weekend. The sighting happened around 10:30 in the morning on her drive back. The weather was clear and sunny. Her friend, redacted, rode in the passenger seat, and her mother's, redacted, rode in the back seat. Both were visiting from redacted Texas. The mother-in-law did not see the creature. It sounded to me as she may have been elderly. This is another statement from the person who requested the information. Name is redacted for certain reasons. The forest biologist that I spoke to on the phone about my sighting told me that there were other sightings in this area. Also, I spoke to a woman from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. She told me as well of sightings known to this area. They saw something or someone hiking towards them down a long, straight stretch of the highway. As they got closer, it appeared to be wearing what she thought was a hoodie, as it had a pointed top on its head. They thought it was strange that someone would be wearing a hoodie on a nice summer day. Its arms were long and swinging while walking. As they got closer, it looked like it was wearing a backpack, but realized it was its head and shoulders and it wasn't wearing clothes. It had black hair and a bushy peak on its head. They could see the muscle structure, and it was very lean and physically fit. I saw its face. It was lighter color than his hair, but still dark. She described a protruding forehead, sunken eyes, and a somewhat flat nose. She said to her friend, "Now, that is a Bigfoot." Yes, we did see that. Now, normally, I usually save this for the end, but I felt this needed to be spoken about, right after this. This is something I stumbled across, and it just goes to show that the United States government does have information about these creatures. Now with the Freedom Act, we can have a little bit of information, what they feel could be granted to us. I find it very interesting that I wonder how many reported incidences they have. I wonder how many they can legally share. I really am going to start sending some emails out tomorrow and find out just what I can get. It's very interesting. Definitely very, very interesting. We all know that the government is holding secrets from us. I don't want to sound like some aluminum foiled hat wearing conspiracy theory person. But, there's evidence of Dogman, Sasquatch, UFOs, alien contact, aquatic cryptids, all sorts of things. I mean, look at the I forget the name right off, the Hopkins County, probably saying it wrong, the Hopkins County gremlins. The actual police report states that there was no arrests made. There was a lot of shots fired by the people, but no arrests made, and they believed that they were shooting at some sort of gremlin or goblin, possibly, but the wildlife people and the sheriff and state police all believed it to be owls, the great horned owl. Conveniently enough, there are a lot of those around where that happened, and it's a good brush off. I mean, they're huge, huge birds, but if you are familiar with the story, I do have an upload that I did a very long time ago, almost 2.5 years ago, somewhere on this channel. But the way these things were positioned, there was no way they were popping off at a owl. But anyway, I had to share this with you. I found it. It's a brief encounter, but it's got proof with the header from the United States. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. I will share the header. I might put the heading thing on my as a picture of, in the video, but if I don't, my email is below. Give me an email. I'll send you a picture of the heading and exactly how it looked. That way you guys can take a look at it as well. Now, let's get on to the second encounter of the day, shall we? Today's second encounter is a Dogman encounter. January 2019, I noticed something lumbering down my driveway. The window I was looking out faces over and above the drive, if that's clear. For example, I can see the roof of your car, but not always the bottom of the tires. Regardless, I notice movement. I look out and see what I initially thought was a bear, nose to the ground and kind of snuffling its head side to side, just casually walking down the drive on all fours. A little geographic clarity. I live in town. The front of my neighborhood faces a major highway, but the back is all state game lands. I've seen some wildlife, turkey, deer here and there, and every skunk in my county apparently lives on my street. I don't see many squirrels, groundhog, or chipmunk, which is a bit odd. I'm not very far from the city of Scranton, about 7 miles from downtown, so I'm not exactly in the sticks. I watch this bear mosey down toward the street, its head lowered. I moved from the living room window to my bedroom window. That has the full view of the street. Sure enough, here it comes. But something's wrong. I watch this beast stand on 2 legs and casually walk out into the road. I see pointed ears and a long snout. It's got its head raised, smelling the air. This is no bear. I saw it in a perfect silhouette under the yellow streetlight. It was either gray or black. The yellow light threw off its true color. It stood without effort, looked like one fluid motion. It then walked across the road, casual as you please, and kind of hunkered down in some scrub brush. Then I realized it was looking right into my bedroom. It had blue eyes. I'm not sure if that was reflected light of they were glowing. It looked right at me. I lost my legs at that moment and sat down under the window, absolutely panicked. I was home alone with 5 cats and a dog who slept through the whole thing. I don't know what to do. My window is a big picture window, and if it wanted me, it could have easily gotten me. I cautiously got to my knees to peek over the sill, and I lost it. I didn't see eyes or it anywhere. It seemed to be either moving away from the forest behind my house, or it decided to rest up in the scrub brush. What I saw under that streetlight is as follows. Darkish fur, high-pointed ears, long muzzle. I never saw teeth or if it had a tail. It had hands with long claws that hung kind of limp at the wrist. If they were fully extended, they would have hung below the knee. It walked on hocked dog legs. It looked heavily muscular, but had a tapered waist. It was about 7 to 7.5 feet tall, judging from where it stood in relation to the streetlight. It was non-aggressive, even when I felt it look right at me. I was terrified, but I didn't get the sense that it was pissed off that it had been seen, as some people report. I didn't take a picture because I didn't think to do it, and I was too in shock. There have been some odd sounds, tapping at my window. I can hear scratching of the siding. I don't see that many animals around the neighborhood anymore. There used to be about 7 stray cats I fed, all gone. Once the weather broke, it's been quiet. I installed motion lights. I bought 2 game cameras. I'm hoping they are, in the sense, like Sasquatch. They avoid game cams. I don't ever want to see this thing again. Those of you who want to see one, pray you never do. My encounter was non-aggressive. I can't imagine having to deal with one of these things that are pissed off. I still can't sleep a full night, and every sound scares the hell out of me after dark. I live alone, and the 357 I own would probably just ruffle its fur. Alright folks, I hope you all enjoyed this middle of the night bonus upload. As we all know, the government is involved. It's not a secret. There's just so many clues and truths. You know, the FOIA, newspaper articles referring to Bigfoot, Dogman, cryptids. Now with the coming out on UFO, UAP, alien, it's honestly, we are in that really soft disclosure period when the government uses the media to just kind of soften us up a little bit and release information just periodically. I truly believe by putting laws on the books to either protect or hunt these creatures is a soft disclosure. You know, why create a law and put it on the books if something didn't exist? Anyway, with that being said, thank you for all of your support. It truly means the world to me. You guys are what makes this channel special. And, well, I have not enough thanks to give you guys. I can't. And it's not possible how appreciative I feel to express it. With that, please stay safe, happy, healthy, and ever vigilant. Keeping an eye on your family, your friends, keeping them informed. It's up to them to use that information we give them. God bless you all.